Hi everyone, can you hear us? It's so weird because we have to wait.
I know.
um,
Like, even respond. Okay, you can see that, right?
a little bit, yeah.
So,
Okay, I think it changed over now. I think we're we're having a bit of technical difficulties trying to share a screen, um, but it just wasn't working on our end. Sorry, you guys.
yeah, we wanted to share some resources related to the topics we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah, all
But we,
right. Shall we get started? Hi everyone, welcome back to Navajo Tea Time Live. You'll probably see why we usually edit our videos. We like start the intro like 6 or 7 times, but that's a bit of
actually, we
exaggeration.
don't. We usually start like this. We count down three, two, one, and then we begin. Hey everyone, Adrienne, Navajo Tea Time with Kelsey Lee.
Yeah. So Adrian planned the topics for today, so
Mhm.
let's just get right into it since we're just a little bit late. Um, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this new announcement by the President's Office, the Navajo Nation OPVP, via social media, via the Navajo Times, via the network of homeowners on the Navajo Nation in Arizona and New Mexico about this new program that's being launched by Native Community Capital. Maybe some of you have heard about it, but I was trying to share the screen here, but if you go online to their website at nativecap.org, so nativecap.org, you can get the details. You can apply to find out if you qualify for their loans. They offer a number of loans, including business loans and home loans. You can get connected with one of their loan officers. But what the big topic of discussion today is, and for the past week, is the Navajo Homeowner Assistance Fund. So this is what the page looks like. You barely see it. Keeps disappearing. But go to the website, click on Navajo Homeowner Assistance Fund. This is really cool. So they're calling it Yidisk Ade Nitsahakes. So that's the theme, I guess, or the motto of this program, basically thinking for the future, forward thinking in relation to home ownership. So there is a full application that's going to be available October 1st, 2023. To get started, there's a number of requests you're going to put in. So there's an Arizona request application, a New Mexico request application. They say that Utah's coming soon and Colorado's coming soon. And so there's a Q&A on here answering questions like what is the assistance fund? Why was it created? Who's eligible? Um, does the Navajo Homeowner Assistance Fund prioritize applicants? What are the funding limits? Um, what other programs exist? Another question is, must our household have been affected by COVID to qualify for the fund? And what's the definition of financial hardship? And what documentation is required? What deadlines are associated with this application? Um, do the funds have to be paid back? What fees might apply? Is the fund available off the reservation? And what is Native Community Capital's role in the Navajo Homeowners Assistance Fund? And the last thing is, how do I apply? So you apply on the website, and Native Community Capital are a group. They're housed in the Valley in Arizona, in the Phoenix metropolitan area, and they're partnering with the Navajo Nation to provide this assistance fund. And just from what I know, It's for people who currently own homes, and this can be on or off the reservation. And I believe there's also funding available for and let me double check, but I think this is also for mortgages, and not also for mortgages, but people who are seeking to purchase a home, I think.
Just
And
looking at the Q&A where it says who is eligible.
yeah,
So it says at least one homeowner listed on the mortgage must be an enrolled member of the Navajo Nation. The home
yes.
must be the homeowner's primary residence. And three is the home must be located on a fee simple land, i.e., off the reservation. In Arizona or New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah, residents will be eligible mid 2024. So it sounds like
Hmm.
for homeowners off the reservation, because you technically
Yes.
can't
So
own your home on the reservation.
yeah. So thank you for clarifying that. So this has kind of been making the rounds on social media. People have been sharing the flyers because Native Community Capital have been hosting a number of events in the valley, for Navajo homeowners to take part in this program. And I think it's great because there are a lot of like Navajo homeowners who, you know, they purchased land and homes off the reservation so they could work, go to school, etc. You know, build up that, um, make an investment, build up their generational wealth. You know, and so this homeowners assistance program is pretty awesome because it's gonna help them, cover some of these costs that they might need help covering. So I think it's pretty cool, and if I hope our people people, our viewers, I hope they take advantage of this because it's a great opportunity. And I don't know, do you want to talk? I mean, I think we talked about, home site leases, and that's like getting land, an acre of land and a home on the Navajo Nation, which is on federal land. So you don't actually own the land, you're leasing it. Um, but, something that I wasn't taught growing up was like, what does it mean to be a homeowner? What does it mean to be responsible for property tax? What does it mean to be financially responsible so that you can save up money for a down payment on a home? What does it mean to seek out a home loan and to actually own that land? And what is that, how is that going to position me in my life? How is that going to position my family, later on in life? To be able to have access to that, because home ownership is a really big deal. And it seems like everyone I know who didn't grow up on the res, their families talked about this. They expected them, like once you graduate high school, once you graduate college, that's like the next step. You buy a house, and that's going to be your number one, that's going to be your number one priority. And that just wasn't the case for me. So do you have any comments on that, Kelsey, or any thoughts you want to add?
I guess that's kind of the same. Like I knew like you have your home site lease, and then you can buy a house outside of the reservation, or you can wait 20 years to get your home site lease and then start building a house. But
Mm-hmm.
because like some of my family do live, a lot of my family live off the reservation. And one of my aunts has a master's degree in business and is really savvy with like owning home and buying land and property and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I feel like there's that side of like, oh, I can buy a house and I know the equity and whatever. So I'm familiar with the terms, but I
Mm-hmm.
never really paid attention much to it or like the home site process until I had to start it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I always felt like I'd want a house on the reservation, so I never really delved into much of the home ownership of
Mm-hmm.
everything. But
Yeah, I always
yeah.
thought I was just gonna, yeah, do a home site lease too. And I was, I did what everyone else in my family does, and just rents, and that was like not a problem, because in my mind I was thinking, well, if I'm renting, they're going to be covering a lot of those costs associated with maintenance, right? And they have obligations to take care of the property that I don't have. A lot of the legalities they're responsible for. And for me, living off the res wasn't a permanent thing, right? And never in my mind was like, well, I'm going to build a home here because I want to live off res. My path has always been pointed back home. However, that's not the case for everybody, and when I married my husband, he in his family, they talk about home ownership. They talk about buying property, buying land, buying houses, and setting the kids up for that too. And then other people who, I've met along the way, that's what they do. Like one of my friends, she is pretty successful. She owns a business, and right now she's working on buying homes for her kids so that they don't have to rent. Instead, they'll pay a mortgage. And so she has two. So that means she's going to own her home, and then her kids, she's going to help her kids get into their own homes. So now that's like three homes within the family, right? And that all together, that positions them really nicely financially. And I know a lot of natives do that, um, just because that's something that we haven't done. It's something that a lot of families do. So, like major props to those that had that, motivation and the teaching to do that. And so this is kind of an opportunity that I think is going to be good for people, who are in that position, to get some assistance. So, like, I'll just read a little excerpt. It says, this is in the Q&A section of why the Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. The answer is many more Navajo families live outside of the Navajo Nation than on the tribe's lands. Navajo families have worked hard to establish homes away from Dinétah or Dinepikea, to pursue higher education, to secure employment and other opportunities not yet available on our homelands. Yet, Navajo families have been affected more severely by the COVID pandemic than the general population. As a result, the accomplishment of Navajo home ownership has been affected. The office of the president and vice president recognize the sacrifices Navajo families have made to provide for their immediate and extended families by establishing home ownership in urban areas, and such accomplishments must be preserved. So I think that's a really great, answer to that question. Um, so the fund was made possible by federal stimulus funds and the Biden administration. The funds are being offered to eligible applicants with a demonstrated need to maintain home ownership. Um, and the funding will be deployed over a 3-year period, ending on September 30th, 2026, with a priority on Navajo homeowners most affected by the COVID pandemic. So this is really important to know too, because as we know, like if you own a home, you have to be able to pay that mortgage, right? You have to have the ability to pay that mortgage, to pay your property tax. But if your family was negatively affected by like during the pandemic, then that puts you in a position to lose that property. And that in itself can be a huge financial detriment. So this fund is created to really assist those people. And it's good to see that there's a deadline too, because this isn't going to be a continuous revolving thing. It's really just for the next 3 years. So it's a little window, of opportunity for people to, take advantage. Um, let's see. I think we should end just, I'll answer one more question. The one that's asking about, um, must our household have been affected by COVID to qualify for the Home Owners Assistance Fund? It says yes. So it says a hardship includes financial hardship such as job loss, reduction in income, increased household costs due to healthcare expenses, or care for a family member. And then hardship also includes overcrowding in the homes, which happens a lot, especially in the city. Like I remember when, I graduated high school, I used to come down to the valley to hang out with my friends. And one time we ended up at this party, with some people we went to high school with, and there were like so many people living in that one apartment because they were all splitting the rent. And a lot of people do that, to kind of cut down on costs and cost share.
especially in
So
Flagstaff.
everywhere, I think even on the res, right? So like overcrowding in homes, making it, difficult to um I guess reside together in a healthy way, meaning that overcrowding might contribute to the potential transmission of the coronavirus. Um, Other home repairs that are not cosmetic are justified if the home requires major repairs to keep the home habitable and safe through this continuing coronavirus pandemic. So there's some really good information there. Um, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys and bring up. I'm sorry I couldn't share my screen to give you like walk you through this, but all the information is on the website. Again, that's nativecap.org. So nativecap.org. So check
I
it
also
out.
put the links in the chat.
Oh, good. So that's the TA. Just kidding. Okay, so next topic, Miss Navajo Nation.
What about her?
So apparently she's from Western Navajo. I think both applicants were from Western Navajo, and I think they're both from Kanta. So during the Navajo Nation Fair, they do the competition. It happens like the week of the fair, and then at the conclusion, they do a coronation where they, choose a new Miss Navajo, and she's gonna hold the title for a year. The last Miss Navajo, she was probably the longest reigning because the pandemic happened, and so we didn't have, so she carried it longer than usual. Um, but we have a new Miss Navajo now, and it's really exciting. Um, I guess I don't know.
Oh, I thought there was like some drama when you like told me the subject. I'm like, what do you mean? What happened? I don't know.
Well, there's no drama. I mean, she just stepped into this office. As we know, Miss Navajo is a great title because it's it's a young lady who has to meet certain qualifications. She has to be of a certain age. She cannot be married. I don't even think she can have a boyfriend or some kind of entanglement. She can't have any children, and she has to really act as an ambassador for the Navajo Nation when meeting with dignitaries, when hosting events. I know Miss Navajos have, traveled to Washington in the past. She gets to fly on all the aircraft, so it's cool. But her job is important because what she's supposed to do is really uphold these values, right? And the values are related directly to her knowledge of the land, the people, the history of the nation, and have cultural knowledge as well. In the past few years, there's been this huge debate about Miss Navajo speaking only the Nepazad, and now I've noticed they've become so much more lenient where she can now speak English during her interviews. um, and they have like a talent contest, and sometimes they'll sing or they'll weave or they'll do something. And then there's the butchering competition, which is huge. um, Everybody, it seems like a whole bunch of like the past Miss Navajos show up, and they judge, and she and all the different contestants, they'll butcher a sheep. And so that's always like a big deal because people like to watch it and see, what her technique is, see if she's good, see if she gets grossed out or not, see if she gets blood on her jewelry. It's like a whole thing. And then all the traditional folks start going up in arms too about it. Like, you're not supposed to wear your jewelry. You're not supposed to wear your nice clothes. But every single year, every contestant, they always wear their nicest dresses and all their jewelry and their mocks, and they always get criticized for it. They never like, I don't know, they just wear an apron. And I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like wouldn't it make sense to not wear like your super nice clothes for the photo op? But um anyways, this year I was watching the Q&A that was being streamed live, which I really appreciate. I'm really thankful for that because a lot of us aren't able to go to Winter Rock to watch this competition, right? And so since the pandemic happened, they've been streaming things live for us to see, and that's one of them. So a lot of like dignitaries and council delegates, they show up to kind of judge the competition and to do their photo ops and everything, show their support. Well, this year they had. I was watching the Q&A, and honestly, I was really disappointed in the lack of knowledge that both contestants had. First, I was shocked that there were only two contestants. I couldn't believe that. Usually there's like five or more. This year there were only two. And then neither of them answered the questions really well. And I was like, oh my gosh. They were asked questions like, when and why was the Navajo Nation, created? And like it was just, I mean, and that's like basic knowledge, you know what I mean, about the nation. But I was thinking maybe one of our videos, Kelsey, we could answer the questions just for fun.
Just for you and your questionnaires, always
They're
wanting to ask me
fun.
questions.
Like we can get dressed up and everything too, and then we can do the Q&A. Like like the Miss Navajo Q&A episode or something. I think that'd be fun, especially for Native American Heritage Month. So just a thought.
We can
But
try.
we should. Like, I actually ordered a Wilfred Jumbo original dress. And if anyone was like looking at the footage of the Navajo Nation Fair, oh my goodness, there was so much royalty. There were all these singing groups and people at the song and dance that were wearing his dresses. And I was like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. And so I ordered one because he was doing this sale. Um, and he put up a discount code on his Facebook, and I wanted to see what it was. And I actually wrote to him before he did that, and I was like, "Hey, I want to get a dress. Do you have anything like ready to ship?" Because there's kind of like a 1 to 2 month delay
Mhm.
after you order and send him your measurements, because then he'll make you a custom piece. So I told him, this is my dress size. Do you have anything available? And he was like, "Yeah, I have these two dresses." Um, and I was like, "Oh, cool." So I was looking at them and I chose the one that I liked and told him, "I like this one." He was like, "Okay, well, you can sell me." And so I got busy because it was like in the evening, and I was trying to put the kids to sleep, and then I got tired, and then I fell asleep, then I went to work. It was a whole thing. Well, anyways, I finally remembered. I was like, "Oh shoot, I sent him a message." And then so I was going to his Facebook page, and then I saw that he had posted, and he was like, "Hey, I'm doing this one time a year sale. Here's the discount code." And I was like, holy cow, maybe I can save some money. So I went onto his website and I put in the code, and it was 50% off.
That's cool.
50. I was like, dang. So I like purchased it like right away. I was like, that's the dress I want. I need it now. Saving 50%. I was almost gonna buy two. I was like, should I buy two? Because there's one I really like. It's like a $600 dress, and oh, it's so beautiful. But then I was like, oh my God, is my husband gonna get upset with me if I buy two dresses? You know what I mean? Like,
How?
probably not. But still, I was like, shoot. So then I was like, oh, I'll just get one. Like, be reasonable. Don't go crazy. But now I'm like, dang it, I should have got them both. Anyways, but I got one. So now I'll have something to wear.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say, like, for people who don't really know what the Navajo Nation pageants really are, they're
Oh yeah,
not like toddlers and tiaras or like the beauty pageants in the rest of the world or the rest of the country, because it's very culture based and not so much like attractiveness based. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's not
Like,
a beauty contest.
it's
Not
not,
like outward beauty, huh?
except for like if
It's
your
like
dress is
inner
beautiful or
beauty.
if your jewelry's beautiful or if like it's done correctly, it's like more technique
They
rather
have a,
than
I mean,
like, oh, you're thin and you have the right body measurements. It's like, is the sash tied correctly? Is it like appropriate for the thing you're wearing, or like, is your hair done correctly? Or
mm-hmm,
are your moccasins tied tight enough they do not fall down?
mm-hmm.
And it's very cultural based in how much the contestant knows about their culture, and their talent is culture related, like singing in Navajo or doing different like you said, like weaving in different traditional talents.
Yeah, like grinding corn with a grinding stone, or like carding wool, or dyeing wool, or spinning wool, or weaving. What else? Um, Y'all whipping your kids. Just kidding.
But yeah,
Well, yeah, and they do have the most photogenic competition. That's probably the most superficial um piece of the competition, but they do this photo shoot with all the contestants, and then the people on social media vote on the most photogenic. And it really is not like, it's not typical American beauty standards for sure. They're like Navajo beauty standards. And I think, I don't know, like, what are some Navajo beauty standards that you're aware of, Kelsey?
I mean, like your hair is not all chushy and all over the
Mm-hmm.
place, which mine always
Yep.
is because it's curly naturally, so it doesn't ever want to be straight. Um,
I know they want to see like long hair. They want to see it all slick back, huh?
and my
Like
hair
they
doesn't
want
do
to
that.
see like, I know they want to see like clear skin, like not a bunch of blemishes, because I think that indicates health and a good diet. What else? She eats her onions. Yeah. um, I'm pretty sure like, and of course other things too, like a beautiful smile. Like that's really important. Like, does she have a beautiful smile? Does she look authentic? Does she look real? Like authentic meaning like, is she conveying authentic emotion, or you know what I mean? Like, does she smile with her eyes, kind of thing? You
Does
know,
she
does she look
smize?
like she smiles? Like, just kidding.
I
That
don't
would be
know.
my smiles.
I haven't paid much attention to like the pageants. Not since this year. Um, my little one came home one Monday with an application. She's like, "I want to do this," or she didn't even say she wanted to do it. She's like, "Oh, here's my, school paperwork for you to look at." And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. It's just a notification of the pageant." And then like a couple days later, she's like, "Mom, I need that application back." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And it's like, I really read it. I'm like, "You want to do this?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want to do this." I'm like, "What are you gonna do?" She's like, "I'm gonna sing." I'm like, "Okay."
Cute.
And that was Thursday, she
Aw.
told us. So then Friday, we had to go to the flea market and find her a traditional dress because she's never shown interest in dressing traditional. And she's
Mhm.
very, well, her so says peculiar. I'd say picky, but she said peculiar, so I thought that was a fun
Mhm.
word to use. Like I can't go shopping without her. Like if she doesn't like, I could pick a dress that's like the same cut, but maybe there's a different color that she wanted
Mhm.
more, or she didn't like the little animal on it. So she has to pick her own clothes, otherwise she won't wear them.
It's
Um,
like throwing money out the window, huh? Or having
yeah.
to like
So
spend extra time returning it.
yeah. So then I was like, I'm not like my grandma's been wanting to buy her traditional clothing for a long time. And so I was like, no, she doesn't like wearing it. Like we've tried buying like little things here and there, and she didn't like wearing them. And so this time, like, okay, Frankie, we have to get your traditional dress, but you can't skip school. So Friday, me and my husband just took a gamble, walked around the outdoor market in Tuba, and there wasn't a lot of options for someone her size, but we found a really pretty blue one, and so we got that
Cute.
for her that Friday, and then the next week was the competition, and like the whole 2 weeks we knew about it, we were going over her clans. I had to learn how to say her Hopi clans for her because I felt like it was really important for her to say them in Hopi and not just some weird Navajo translation.
Yeah.
So like before she's like, "Oh, can I have ice cream?" I'm like, "Wait, say your clans first. Like, introduce yourself." And so she'll say them, then she'll get a little reward. And she won.
Cute.
She won like the Little Miss
She did?
Hawkeye. Yeah. So
Cute.
now
Are you gonna be in the parade?
there's the homecoming parade for the school.
That's
That's
cute.
this Friday. I
This
won't be
weekend?
there, but Gernon and the little one and her will be there.
Oh, just
And then
cute.
we have to figure out how to get the funding for the Western Navajo Parade and whatever other events. We got invited to like 3 events already. We had to decline one of them because it conflicts with stuff going on this week. Um,
Oh my goodness.
so the,
Wow, that's exciting.
it's
Cool.
really
You should put her on a Shetland pony. That would
a
be so
shell.
cute.
pony. She'd love it. She always wants to ride horses and be on a horse. I have a photo of her from like the the county fair when she's like
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4, and she just sits on the horse so regal. She's never been on a horse before. She just
Aw.
sits on it, her back goes straight, and she's like, I'm the princess, I'm the queen, I'm supposed to be on a horse. Um, but they're so
Cute.
expensive and a lot of work to take care of like a horse.
Oh my goodness. I know my uncle was asked to be the Grand Marshal for the Navajo Nation Fair Parade, or the Western Navajo Nation Fair Parade. And I don't know if he's going to do it, but I hope he does. But if he does, I'm thinking of probably going home for it to be supportive. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off because I have travel and an event the night before. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. But we'll see. I have to call my aunt and ask if he's going to do it or not.
Yeah, so we're working with the other contestant winner. She got Miss Vithlabe. She's the older girl.
Oh, cool. You guys should just yeah,
Yeah, so the
partner
third's
up.
like we're gonna partner up, like, and so today we're like texting each other, trying to figure out how we're gonna decorate a truck and get everything together.
Cute.
I
Oh, I just love that.
I posted on my Instagram. I was like, I have 1,000 dum dums, cause like gotta throw stuff out right at the parade.
Mm-hmm.
um,
That's cool. Vlog it.
I'm not gonna be there.
Oh, you're not gonna be there.
It's
Tell
Friday.
Gernan to vlog it.
He's gonna be driving the truck.
Friday. Friday, the big day,
um,
isn't it? For
Thursday's the
you?
big day. I'm gonna be gone.
Oh my god, I'm excited.
I like the whole week last week. I was like, don't go into labor, don't go into labor, and ruin Frankie's big pageant day. And
You're like, dang it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you.
yeah, so I have a lot of stuff going on that just needs to be
Mm-hmm.
planned and organized. And it's like, ah. And then
Yeah.
she wins, and I'm like, okay.
I know. Oh my god. I know my daughter's done those before. She competed in two competitions. Once at the primary school, the Tuba City Primary School, and then at the Tuba City boarding school. So I know that stress having to get a dress and have her prep. The first time she did it, she sang mountain songs. And then the second time she was like grinding corn, but she didn't win either time. I think she got like Miss Congeniality at um the boarding school. But the other girls that won, oh my god, there was this girl. She did like a whole puppet show. It was so cute. It was like she was doing like a sheep butchering demonstration with like stuffed animals. It was so freaking cute. It was the cutest thing I'd ever seen. And then she had all these other animals that we learned about in our creation story, and she was naming them off. Like she had a little turkey, and she was like Kaji, and a little bear. And she's like shush. It was so freaking cute. And she won. I'm like, she deserves it. That was cute. It was really cool. But yeah. Well, congratulations to Frankie. Yay. Round
Yeah.
of applause.
I'm so happy for her. And now I was telling Gurnan, I'm like, Gurnan, you have to be pageant dad because I can't do
Mhm.
anything. And then
Mhm.
after the baby's born, we have to keep him inside for 20 days.
Oh,
Um,
you're doing that?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's
That's
just,
hippie way, huh?
yeah.
Oh my
So
god,
I
how
always try to
exciting.
respect his family's traditions and
I
customs
guess
too.
covering all the windows and everything.
Like I've already have blackout curtains because it gets so hot here in Cameron during the
Yeah.
summer. So we just gotta keep them closed and turn on the lights.
Oh, how exciting. That's cool. Good job. That's cool.
Yeah. So
I love it.
that's
Okay,
going on.
so the next topic. um, okay, next topic. Last topic, I think, right?
Yeah.
Upcoming concerts,
Upcoming concerts.
current concerts, and upcoming concerts. Um, so the ones I wanted to chat about were so Navajo Nation Fair happened, like we said, and Megadeth performed,
Mhm.
and Ashanti and Ja Rule. Those are the only two I paid attention to. And there was another group, like a country band, Low Cash. Never heard of them, but like Ja Rule, Ashanti. I remember listening to their music in high school and a little after high school with my cousins. We'd go, my cousin and my uncle Mike. We would go like go out to like these party spots and hang out with our friends, and someone was always playing Ja Rule and Ashanti. So
You say high
yeah,
school, that brings me straight back to like middle school. Middle
like when they
school
were like
dances.
new. Yeah. Well, I'm like a lot older than you, so I
I
was
know.
like,
It's
I
just
remember when those hits came out.
it's so funny because like the last time Mike was like, "Oh yeah, you and Kelsey, probably went to high school." Blah blah. Last time I was like, "Nope."
No, I was in grade school. I was 8.
Yeah. So like I was like, "Oh no, middle school dances."
Mhm.
And
It's
then
so funny.
Megadeth is just like my dad's music.
Dad rock. God. I know. So I really wanted to go. I missed it. I wasn't able to come out in time. I wanted to go so bad, but I got sick and I don't know. I couldn't even like I had to miss work and I never miss work, but I was sick. So I was like out of it and I missed the concert and I was really sad. But I was like, oh well, everyone else had fun. 10,000 other people had fun. And yeah, Ashanti and Ja Rule, I really wanted to see them. I I was feeling a little better that next day, and so I went home because my son is walking in the parade with his school, and so he left his like his school ID
Oh no.
back here. I know, and he's like, I need it. I use it to get into my dorm and everything. So I was like, great. So I had to return that to him anyway, and I was feeling a little better, and I was homesick. So we took off and we went back, and that I was texting my cousins. My cousins were like, "Hey, we should all go together," and so I was trying to get them to get from Tuba City to Saline, and I was like, "You can stay at my place. We'll drive you there to the fair. We'll go to the concert. You can sleep over. Like everything's covered." I was even offering to pay for the tickets. I was like, "I'll pay for the tickets," and they were just like, all lazy. Ew, just kidding. They couldn't even make the drive. I'm like, you guys suck. And then, of course, when all the photos come out, they're like, oh, we should have gone. I'm like, yeah, you should have. So I didn't go to that one either because I didn't want to go without them. Because, it's like a vibe. Plus, my uncle and my cousin, they're like freaking giants. They're really tall. And I was like, I'm not going to roll over there without them. You know what I mean? They're like my bodyguards. So yeah, that was like, oh well. But we ended up going to we went to the carnival. I took my daughter because she wanted to see her friends. So we went to the carnival, and my whole thing was like I wanted a turkey leg because my friend Sarah, she went to the Coconino County Fair and she posted a picture of like a big old turkey leg, and I was like, ooh, that looks really good. So I was craving that for like a week, and then we went to the carnival and I found one, and I was in line. There was no one else there, and the guy that was selling them, I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, how much are these?" And he was like, $20. It was $20 for a freaking turkey leg. I couldn't believe it, and I was like, "What the heck?" Like, I I had my money because I thought it'd be like $12 or something like normal. Like the last time I bought a turkey leg, it was $12. And then so I took it back and I was like, what the heck? And he's like, they're fresh, they're juicy, you know what I mean? Like, it's worth it. He's like, inflation is the reason why it's so expensive. And I was like, fine. So I got one. And then we went over to the powwow arena and we're sitting up there in the stands and we opened up all of our food. And Michael got tacos and Alex got this like huge tray of French fries. Like it was huge. So we're all ready to grab out, and I open up the thing, and that meat was freaking dried out.
Oh
Like it was
no.
not fresh and it was not juicy. And I was like, what the heck? And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can like return this. And it's all like, because like I kind of like had to claw it, to get the meat, and it was all dry. And I'm like, what the heck? So my daughter's like, are you really gonna do it? And I'm like, yeah. Like I paid $20 for this and I can't even eat it. So I went back over there, and there were two ladies this time though. That guy was like, he went in the back. So there were two ladies, and one lady was running the operation, and the other lady, she was like a Navajo lady. You could tell she was just like a worker. And she was like, I don't think I asked her, and she was like, I can't do anything. You got to ask her. So then I told that lady, I was like, hey, I came over here earlier. I just bought this. I was told that it was fresh and juicy, and this is neither. And I showed her, and so she gave me a fresh one. So it was good too. Oh my gosh.
That's good. That's like one of the only reasons why we go to the fairs or the carnivals, because Gernon really loves turkey legs. So like if we
Mhm.
go to like the Renaissance Festival or any of the fairs,
Mhm.
the goal is to get one turkey leg, and they are like back in, I don't know, 3, 4 years ago, they were $15 each. And
Really?
they just keep getting more and more expensive. I'm like, oh no, the turkeys are going extinct. But yeah, fair food is one of the reasons to go, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it was okay. I went on some rides with my daughter. I went on that one crazy one. What was it called? The freak out. It's like a claw. And then it
Oh,
does this to you.
I think
It was really fun.
last year, me and my younger sister, we went on the zipper. Cause like, I'm gonna get you back,
Oh,
Kelsey. You were in 8th grade. I was like 7, and you put me on the zipper with you. So we got on the zipper last year, and I'm like, I feel so old getting on this ride.
oh my God. I heard, oh, was it?
The zipper?
No. Was it on when we were talking with Mike Six Killer and that other, oh, what's her name? I forgot. It wasn't Chelsea, was it? With the Western Navajo Fair. Oh my God, I'm so sorry if you're watching this. I doubt she is. She's probably like, whatever. Anyways, with the glasses, remember
I,
the blue
I'm
glasses?
bad at names.
Okay, well, anyways, we were talking to Western Navajo Fair last time, and I don't remember if it was during that episode or during another one, but Mike Six Killer was saying that they expanded the carnival, so there's going to be more rides this year.
That's good.
Because yeah, because last year the lines were so long, so they partnered with the carnival crew, and they're actually going to be bringing more rides this time. So I'm